Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. I am Dr. Natalie Phillips. I am hoping the internet, Facebook, whatever it is, continues to run. Fear not, I have my trusty phone here. I will come back if something freezes. Let me know. Also, I am multi-streaming to my YouTube channel. So if you get so frustrated that Facebook is just like freezing up, then head over to my YouTube channel because it is being recorded and live streamed right there as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited and honored to be part of this 24-hour Facebook Live Global Digital Summit. And I am so thankful. I want to thank Lisa Copeland. I want to thank all the amazing speakers. I haven't been able to catch everyone, but like me, if you miss some of the speakers, they are all of their sessions are sitting in the Facebook group called Big Sellers Mastermind. So go there. I have a link in my post. So I want you to make sure that if you've missed anything, you want to go back and watch some of these people. It has been incredible. So I'm just kind of going over some housekeeping things. The last thing is I will try try really hard not to answer and look at the comments because Lisa is also going to be repurposing our content for a learning and teaching and training platform that's going to be absolutely free. So if you missed it on Facebook Live, she is going to create something that is going to be free because we want it to be out there. And we're so glad to be a part of this. So just wanted to let you know, if I don't comment, I will definitely come back afterwards and engage and say hello and do all of that stuff. So that without further ado, I'm going to go into my topic, and I'm going to start with some facts first. So I'm going to be talking about social media, and it's so funny because I know that many people have this love-hate relationship with social media. And, I want to, I stepped back and I noticed, that some people are always there to inspire. That's what they want to do on social media. Some people just want to be heard. I mean, I know you've seen a lot of these groups and in comments and people just kind of put stuff in there just to make sure that they get a chance to be heard. And then are those that all they want to do is vent. So there's like this love-hate relationship, this roller coaster, where, what do you really need to focus on? But I want to take you into the love part of it because I want to show you how social media and technology and how we're having to use it today is actually going to work for us. I'm just going to look because I want to make sure we're not frozen, and I don't think we are. So yay. Okay. Now that's fact number one. Fact number two is that in social distancing now, we are all being forced to pivot and use our technology and our social media even more. So, we've had to pivot. Those of us have had to use technology for education, right? For the kids, for music lessons, for happy hour, town hall meetings, church services, and getting things done. So that's what I'm going to focus on today is to use social media to get things done. So how does that look like for us today? I'm going to start with a quote that I'm going to read. And the quote that I'm going to read comes from Rabbi Joseph Koneski, because I thought it was super interesting, especially during this social distancing. And this pretty much sums up how we're having to pivot to be able to connect to people during this social distancing. And this is what he says. He says, we actually need to be thinking in the exact opposite way. Every hand that we don't shake must be a phone call we make. Every embrace we avoid must become a verbal expression of warmth and concern. Every inch and every foot that we physically place between us and another must become a thought as to how we might be of help to one another should the need arise. Doesn't this totally speak to us right now? So yeah, we can't hug people. We can't, shake their hands, anything like that. But there are different ways that we actually had to do this, and we need to revisit how to use technology, how to get back out of this social distancing to be able to still connect to people. Because I'm going to tell you, by the time you're done, I really want you to understand that I truly believe, and I hope that you believe it too, that making a connection with a person should not matter whether you're in person or whether you're doing it through a platform like social media that we're doing right now, or through technology. Okay. So we are going to start, and I'm going to kind of just go through some of the different parts that I'm going to have, because I have two different parts that I'm going to cover. Number one is how to believe and use social media influence for good. So I'm going to kind of cover that topic. And then the second thing is that I'm going to talk about how to connect using social media every day, and especially during the social media or through social distancing. All right. So we're going to start with asking ourselves some questions. So number one question is, and most of you will answer this, yes, is, are you on and using social media to grow your business and make connections? Yes, we are totally on social media personally because we don't want to lose those connections with people. But I'm asking you about business. Are you using it, and are you on social media for your business and trying to make connections through your business? So that's the first question. The second question is, do you believe that what you say and do can influence people? I really want you to think about that, because that comes into play in how you're coming out on social media. And then the third question I have is, do you think you can use a bigger platform for good? So it doesn't necessarily have to be social media, but again, with everybody using technology to learn, to teach, to reach out to people, again, we all joke, but we all wish we had Zoom stock, right? So are you using a bigger platform for good and to connect to people? So those are some of the questions that I want you to just frame your mind around as we go through this topic. So going through how we use social media for good, and through social distancing, I want to talk about how we do this for good. And I'm going to kind of want you guys to go through this checklist with me and make sure that these ways, I have 7 different ways that I'm going to share with you to make sure that you're using social media in order for you to make an impact or maybe it's not even an impact, but be the positive light and connect to people that way, because this is a time that we all need it. So number one way to use social media for good is to push others out, push others out, what you believe in, and or maybe what you connect with. So what that means is, as you're scrolling by and you're seeing what people are posting about what they're doing in their life, what they're going through, if there's something that you connect with, comment, engage, share it out. If they wrote an article, if there was something that they were really proud of, now is the time to encourage each other and to be that positive light again in social media. There are so many ways that you can encourage people to be creative, to be innovative, to connect. So again, for example, in the social media I keep saying social media, the social distancing that we're going through, how many of you, give me some likes, some hearts, raise your hand in a comment. How many of you have seen how Italy and Spain is during this COVID-19, right? I mean, I don't even have to say anything else, because most of you know that what I'm talking about is the neighbors in Italy and Spain going out on their balconies, playing music and singing. Oh my gosh, because I know that because so many people on my feed have been sharing it. So again, that's one of those things that if it's something that you see, if it's something that you connect with, share it out, spread that positivity down the line. Okay, so that's pushing somebody out. That's way number one. Another idea is to support a cause. Now, I know we've had fun. There are a lot of different things that we have done to support a cause. Facebook makes it really easy to do that, right? We've done different things that are fun, that like the ice bucket challenge, things like that, fun posts. But Facebook makes it really easy. People are supporting a cause for their birthdays, for celebrating something. Making a post, it's easy to tag somebody because we've now got Venmo and PayPal and so many things that you can be doing. I see musicians who are out of work right now. They're doing concerts online and they have their Venmo link. So there's different ways, again, that you can use social media for good. And that would be to make sure, though, that you are really directing towards that cause and making sure that you are spreading the awareness around that cause. All right. The third way is what we're doing right now. Teach something, drop some knowledge, get on Zoom, get on Facebook Live, get on, if you are asked, like Lisa has asked many of us to show up and be part of this 24-hour global digital summit. And mostly all of us were like, yes, we're in, because when Lisa asks, we do it. So Drop some knowledge. Everybody has something to teach. And if you don't, that means you did not spend enough time figuring out what you can teach, because there is always something. Everybody is such a unique individual that the way that they interpret things and that the way that they can share it might just be a way that somebody else is going to pick it up just like them. So think about it. Think what you can teach. This is another way that you can spread the good. All right. Number 4 is to challenge people. So stimulate thought processes in people right now. Challenge them to be creative or innovative. Right now, again, I'm going to come back to this because it's another example that I have. But my daughter is part of a thing called the Daily Dose of Diva B. It is the Performing Arts Academy here in town. And instead of their kids just kind of being bored around the house, they're putting out a challenge every day. And you have to either come doing, act or sing or dance or all of it or whatever it is based on a certain theme. And again, what's smart about this, again, I'm going to come back to this, is that it's encouraging. Yes, it's encouraging people to be active and creative and innovative, but it's also putting your business out there in a way that people can share it. So again, this is going to come to part of my other area that we're going to talk about, but challenge people in this time, encourage them to get out there. Okay, way number 5 is to be thoughtful. Now, what that means is, think about what you're going to post. Think about what your meaning is that you're going to put out there. What it means to you, don't just post a meme, don't just copy it or share it from somebody. But if you see something that resonated with you, when I say be thoughtful, it means think about why it made you stop or what hit you. So that way, when you share it, you are able to be a little bit more, it connects. That's what it is. It connects you to that post so other people can see why you shared it. So it's super important to be thoughtful when you are posting and spreading social media for good. Which leads me to encourage others. That's number 6. So again, people have time right now. So they are putting themselves out, whether it's teaching something, whether it's showing up for a concert and they're playing music for you, whether they are talking about how their businesses are doing, and they're scared, whatever it is, no matter how they come out, using social media for good is encouraging people to continue to make sure that they are getting out there and they're putting themselves out there. Okay, number 7 is to use video. So to use video means that exactly what we're doing is we are getting on video in order to connect to people, right? And to spread the good. There are 47 speakers in this 24-hour Facebook Live Global Digital Summit. So using video stops people to watch. We can spread it out there. It captures somebody more than a picture or more than words just on a screen. So use video. Even better, use captions. Use what I'm using right here. Put your comments or what you're talking about right in front of you so people know as they're scrolling, oh my gosh, she's talking about something and it says way number 7. Did I just miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? Okay, I better go back and look at that, right? So put comments in your video or little captions, right? Not just for my world, the hearing impaired, but as people are scrolling by, if they don't necessarily want to turn the volume on, they can still watch you. There are many, many places that you can caption videos. There are different browsers that do it better for Facebook that you can go back and caption your videos. There's Clips, there's YouTube Buddy. There's a lot of different ways that you can now caption your videos. So if it's a short enough video and you want to go ahead and do that, I would recommend to use video, use captioning, and go live. All right. Now, I want to go over the hard stuff. So these are 2 things to consider. Number 1 is that it's not all about you. And I know this is tough love, but this is me and I'm the tiger mom. And so I'm going to tell you that it is not all about you. And what that means is that when you are commenting on somebody's post or watching a live and putting comments, kind of step back and see if all of your comments point back to you. you know and that's how, to look at how you're engaging with somebody. Now, as you're posting from your page, the way that you make sure that it's not all about you is any one of those things that I just said: pushing somebody else out, encouraging somebody, sharing what they're doing, sharing why things meant something to you. But step back again and make sure that it doesn't follow this I mentality, or this like, hey, look at me, that type of thing, right? Because it's not all about you. People don't always want to see that. I know people want to stay connected with you, but the way that you connect to somebody is to make sure that those connections mean that whatever is an internal that you love and that you are connected to yourself, you're pushing that out, right? Versus, this is what I look like. This is what I'm doing, things like that. So there's different ways that you can post. And again, you can take this to the personal side of it, or you can take it to the business side of it and how you're looking at it. And then also is, again, social media, this is this platform that we have to use for our influence. So you need to decide, are you going to use that influence as a leader? Or are you going to use that influence as a naysayer, somebody who questions everything, somebody who attacks or judges people every single time they put something out there, or a Debbie Downer, right? So that's the one thing that I want you to think about, is that it's not all about you. This is my tiger mom shaking finger point. Number two is that you don't have to go there. Okay, what that means is, this is not a review. It's not a business review. Now, I have different ideas that when you do get a bad business review, yes, you do have to go there and you do have to respond. But my point here, in that you don't have to go there, is a few things. Number one, you decide first if you want to share it and how you want to share it. You don't have to share everything that you're going through in your life. You can decide whether to keep it off of social media or not, right? Number two is how you want to share it. So, again, I'm going to step back and tell you a really quick story. I was in this really dark place that I let somebody put me there, and I was quiet. I literally went silent. And I know a lot of you who know me that are watching are like, what in the world is she talking about? Because I constantly talk and I am constantly making a connection. So I understand, but there was a time that I was in my little dark space and I was like, I don't want to get out there anymore. Like, I am done. So what made me come back out were a few friends, obviously, but I refuse. I have my core values, and I refuse to put anything out on social media, even though it frustrated me and how I was feeling was so negative. I refused to go there and put the negativity out. So instead, what I did was I did the whole 180, and I put out something that was completely opposite of what I felt at the time. And I found a picture or a meme or a quote or whatever it was, as long as it was a complete 180 of what I was feeling at the time. And what's interesting, I'm going to add this on here too, and some of you already know this now because I've shared it, because it's part of my story, is it wasn't enough. So I took it and I gamified what I was going through. So what I did was, with my post, I gave myself one victory point if the person or the people that put me in that hole liked it. And then I gave myself 2 victory points if they commented on it. I don't know why. It was just something that I enjoyed doing. It actually ended up inspiring a lot of people. They didn't know how I was feeling, but the positivity that I was putting out there inspired people, and they reached out to me. And so I was so shocked, because I kept thinking, oh my goodness, if they ever knew what I was really thinking or feeling. But that's what was therapeutic for me. And so that's how I went there, and I gamified my pain and I put it out in a different way. So, third way about that you don't have to go there is that you can choose what you're not going to post. So for me, I don't choose to post anything about religion or politics, and I don't comment on anything. It's just my preference. You can decide what you want. So having those preferences, having what you want to share and what you don't want to share, and how you do it, is super important. And the last thing is, it's okay to disconnect. I have told a really good friend, and I believe he's here watching, that lots of people, again, like I said, lots of people just put things out there because they want to be heard, or that's just how they're feeling and they're okay putting the negative comments or the judging comments out there. You don't have to engage. Every post, every comment does not warrant a response. So again, you don't have to go there. So I wanted to go over that. So now I want to shift a little bit more to my second section of the talk here, and it's going to go over using social media every day, and especially during social distancing. And first of all, we need to think about who are we talking to, who is our audience. And it could be if it's your business, people who you sell to, your colleagues, other professionals, or maybe you're thinking about how you're reaching your family, friends, or even supporters during this time. There's really no right and wrong answer. But what I'm here to say is that you have to be strategic enough to know that your intention is going to be a connection. Okay, so be strategic enough, no matter the audience, that when you're putting something out there now, that your intention is this authentic connection with somebody, whether they're reading what you're putting out, whether they're seeing what you look like and they're hearing your words if you're on video, however it is, your intention is always to make that authentic connection. So in my world, with audiology, we start with rapport. So rapport for us, it means that I spend time sitting down with my patients. I fit hearing aids, but I can't just say, oh, here's the hearing test, and this is the hearing aid that I think is going to be perfect for you, because that would be an absolute lie. So what we do as professionals and clinic providers is that we sit down and we talk to them about their environments. How are they struggling? Where are they noticing the most difficulty, to really be able to get to know them. And then also it helps me stay in agreement with what their needs are based on what their life and their story is about. So again, even in any business or what you're putting out there, you need to start establishing and developing rapport. When we go to online connections, you might think, well, that's going to be really hard because it's going to be a lot of text and people can't really see you, but that's not necessarily true, right? In this day and age, we had talked about using Zoom and using different things, and going that route is going to be a lot easier now that we're all becoming more comfortable. So what I want you to focus on when we look at or we frame your mind around looking at the online ways to make connections is that you need to be a better social listener. So we are 8 minutes left, so I'm going to start speeding through these faster, and we're going to go through the 4 C's of making a good connection. So number 1 is being consistent. So in any relationship, even with friends, you have to make that continuation of making calls to make that coffee date or that happy hour date. You have to make that effort. Online, what that means is you're posting regularly. You're picking out days that you can really do this. Make it doable, right? So don't put yourself out, but if you can only do 3 days a week, stay consistent on those 3 days. Facebook Live, or comments on any of your posts, you want to make sure that those comments you engage in. So again, being consistent in replying to them. Now, with social distancing, people are finding creative ways to do this differently. So I already talked about the challenge with the dose of Diva B, but we've seen it. We've seen, we have an audiologist that has audiologists streaming from home. It's a new episode or a new live. We've got the Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon. How many of you actually love him with his kids holding up papers, for his hashtags or whatever he's doing? Ellen DeGeneres is on, and she's on her couch in her warm-up suit, no makeup on, making a phone call to one of her friends. So again, this is ways that we're pivoting through social media distance to stay consistent, staying real and relevant with the facts. Second C would be to be comfortable. So even if you see someone else is doing something, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be comfortable for you to do. And in person, when I was getting up on stage, one of the speaking coaches that I talked to had said, it doesn't matter what you wear, that dress or that those heels. The main thing is that you're comfortable. So when we talk about online, part of the ways that you share things, again, is taking that internal of how did it stop or how did it hit you, and then taking that and sharing that, and that makes you more comfortable because you know why you're sharing that, right? And again, you don't have to respond to everything. The third C is to be confident. Be confident. So people are drawn to confidence in person, immediately, almost within 7 seconds, right? You can make your judgments, or, what your first impressions are made in 7 seconds of how people look. But online, it's different. So being confident online means knowing how your message is going to go out, that it's well thought out, it's concise, don't rush, but get it done. But before you hit send, you want to stop, because you want to step back and reread the message behind it. Make sure that your brand is behind that, right? With social distancing, it's a little bit different. Confidence is showing support and staying positive. Again, pushing something out that makes you feel something you want to talk about, even what's going on right now. Being confident is being able to talk about what's going on in our world right now and staying relevant. The last C is, I did be consistent first. I meant to do be confident. Anyway, be consistent is the last one. So, or considerate. That's what it is. Be considerate. So let me just edit this real quick. And what considerate means is a couple of things. Number one, that you want to be smart, right? You want to be smart. Connecting to people online is going to be really, really interesting, because you're behind a desk, and you're behind words. And so you want to make sure that you don't just reach out if you don't know them. You don't try to sell something right away. You want to help them out. You want to go in for the right reasons. Being considerate also means that you give credit where credit is due. If you are sharing something, it's the same thing, where you want to share and say, I just saw this post, or you're sharing it, not copying and pasting it to your business page, but you're saying, I shared it from this business, and thank you very much for finding this. Now, with social distancing, it's going to get harder, or it's getting easier for people to be seen and heard, because people want to be out there. People want to have that connection somehow. So you want to make sure that you are being considerate. You're not judging others for their opinions, for what they're going through, because everybody is going through it. So fight that urge to respond with your values and beliefs, because your values and beliefs will not be the same that somebody else is going through. So with that, I'm trying to wrap up a little bit here. I do have a challenge. I always like to put out a challenge. So the challenge is to think about how you can reach, teach, or spread positivity and support to somebody through social media, especially because I truly believe that we all need so much of that right now, and do it with the intention of connection and authentically. So again, I want to thank Lisa Copeland and all the speakers here on the 24-hour Facebook Live Global Digital Summit. Thank you for tuning in. Share it out. And up next, we are going to go to Lisa Patrick. So Lisa Patrick, just to give you a little bit of information, we love to introduce our next speaker so you know where to go. She also has a link in my post, so you can just click on her Facebook URL link to her page. But Lisa is from Canada, and she has worked with some of the biggest thought leaders in the world, helping them see the bigger picture and help them find the missing structures in their business. So she's going to be able to share the process of how to create a profitable business relationship. And her topic is making lasting connections that will grow your influence, your impact, and create more. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining in. If you've missed anything, you do want to go to the Facebook group, Big Sellers Mastermind. So if somebody is on here watching, type that in, go there. All the 47 speakers are going to be there. We are going through 10 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 12 o'clock midnight Eastern Standard Time. And Lisa Copeland is going to be closing everything up, wrapping it up, but we still have a lot more speakers left. So we have about 8 more speakers for this 24-hour Facebook Live Global Digital Summit. Lisa Copeland will be wrapping it up. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and get out there, connect authentically, and spread the positivity. So thank you guys so much for joining in. I will see you later. Bye.